to our favorite time of the week.
Is it?
Oh my God!
I love it.
You look triggered there, Kyle.
It's just
I'm about to be, I'm sure.
the best.
Last week, you did have your worst pick. By the way, how's that Dolphins at 5 shit going, bitch?
We'll have to find out very soon. Look right, buddy.
All right. It is
This is fluid.
our EJ's power rankings as we go over them each and every week. Remember, Kyle, as you're looking on the screen, just look at the right side for now, please.
For those who see the video, I have my hand in place.
He does. He does.
That's what she said. No.
Kudos to Mrs. Nash. All right, EJ, who is your bottom 5 this week?
Pretty much like last week, other than 29-30. Quick swap there, but the same teams: 28 the Patriots, 29 the Bears, 30 the Cardinals, 31 the Panthers, 32 the Wolverines, 33 the Bulldogs, 34 the Seminoles, 35 Ohio State, 36 the Giants.
I see what you did there.
I did.
And to Matt's point, price too high. Washington Huskies 36.
There you go.
There we go.
Wolf, mother.
Yeah.
If I may, Jim, I'm going to drop a compliment on EJ Christian. This is your best bottom 5 this year.
Really?
However, I would like you on air, on record, to formally apologize for all the weeks you had the Texans in the bottom 5.
I've been apologizing, even on my show.
Okay, carry on.
Absolutely. I CJ Stroud, I apologize. MVP candidate. Let's go.
Can we get a TikTok of that? That would be 139.46 there.
Here we
Jay.
go. I'll mark it down.
All right. Yeah, I don't have any problems here. I mean, when I think 30 through 32, you're splitting hairs if you want to argue them. 28-29, I think in the same boat. I wholeheartedly agree. These are the 5 worst teams.
The Giants, I know who's splitting there. The Giants.
If you just even want to take the numbers away and just say these are your bottom 5, I wouldn't even hate it.
The Giants situation.
Like, who gives a shit? Throw them in a bucket. And
the situation, cares. The Giants alone make them worst team. Forget the fact they have 2 wins already and one more win. It's a situation that's bad.
Yes.
Danny DeVito's your quarterback.
And the Panther situation being equally bad because of all the pick trades. 100% a good take.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, not wrong there. All right, EJ, give us your top 10.
Here we go. Number 10, the Seahawks, unchanged. Number 9, the Dolphins. 8 Cowboys, 7 Niners, 6 Lions, 5 Bengals, 4 Jaguars, 3 Ravens, 2 Chiefs. 1 of those goddamn Eagles. Kyle, what's wrong?
Why are the Seahawks below the Dolphins?
Because they were below the Dolphins before. So
why are the Lions not in your top 4?
Top 4? No.
I would put them ahead of the Jaguars. Maybe not ahead of the Bengals, but
these aren't standings. These are power rankings.
Right. I'm saying I would have
the Lions last
week.
Lions
at 4 for what it's
the
worth.
Lions last week were at 6. They remain unchanged. Had a bye week, obviously.
Wait. I misheard what you said, Matt. You meant the other way. I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
It was really stupid by me. My bad.
Wait, Matt, you have the Lions in not in the top 5? They should be in the top 5?
They should be in the top 5.
Who should I take out?
The Jaguars. I would have the Lions ahead of the Jaguars.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
I'm not mad at. No, that's not a hot take. That's not a hot take.
Slight hot take.
No, not really.
No, it's not.
Because you sat here telling us for the past 2 weeks how great the Ravens are, and then the Lions got slapped, but it was the Ravens. The Seahawks got slapped, but it was the Ravens, and you penalized them both. That doesn't make any sense to me. The Jaguars didn't do anything last week, and they climbed. I have my own issues with that.
Actually, no. Last week, the Jaguars last week at 4 as well.
Sorry, what?
The Jags were at 4 last week as well.
And wrongly so. Okay? We'll just say it.
Okay.
They looked like ass against the Steelers, and you rewarded them. That didn't make any sense to me.
But it's the Steelers.
That defense is amazing, though. And I don't just mean the Steelers. Like the Jaguars, no one is talking enough about the Jaguars defense. I'm the only person I know that's written 2 articles about them. Maybe it's because I write for the Jaguar Report of SI. Bing!
Maybe.
But that's not what it should take. Why are more people not talking about Josh effing Allen, man?
Do you agree?
That's the one on defense.
Kyle.
Not the one that makes a lot of turnovers for the Bills.
Kyle,
there also Andre Sisco, excellent safety.
Do you agree with his take about the Lions being top 5?
Okay. Earlier you asked him about top 4. I would say no. Top 5. Now I'm buying.
So you're taking the Jaguars out as well too, top 5? Because you have to swing out to make that.
I think I would have the Bengals 4 simply because, and this is you could call it a me problem if you want, but we knew the Bengals were going to struggle early. And they took back-to-back the Niners, albeit without Trent Williams, and the Bills. That's a good pairing to beat back-to-back to get back to prowess. That's why I have the Bengals. To me, the Lions and the Bengals right now are interchangeable. That's what I'll say.
So
and where do you have? And you have them at 4 and 5.
Yeah, okay. In whatever order you want. I don't care. Jags are 6 for me. Now, if they beat the Niners on Sunday, let's have a conversation.
Yeah, I agree.
I had a hard time taking the Jaguars 2 spots down a bye week. That's the thing. The only team that climbed here was the Ravens.
Well, they shouldn't have been last week. So really, the only reason you were in that position is because last week, when we said it on that show, you were your worst rankings to that point.
It's funny too, because it's funny because last week, the week before last week, you said the Jaguars too low, and then when I corrected that, you said, "Oh, not too high."
Where'd you have the boys last week?
The boys were at, I believe, at same spot. I believe. Hold on. They moved up despite the loss. 1 spot.
Okay.
By the way, as a side,
because you had to move the Dolphins down, right, Lisa?
Yes, I thought the loss was a little.
The Dolphins should be 10 at best.
Seattle.
I mean, I have the Dolphins at 9, Seahawks at 10. I think those two can be interchangeable. I don't hate it either way. So the only thing that changed in my top 6 from last week is I have the Ravens at 2.
I was going to ask you
over the Chiefs. I have Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Lions, Niners, Jaguars. Because I had Lions, Niners, Jaguars week prior. They didn't play. I had the Bengals, the biggest move in mine. I had the Bengals at 10 last week. They're up to 7.
Rightly so.
Like I don't hate anybody putting them at 6 or at 5, but like again, they beat the Niners without Trent Williams, and they beat the Bills, who I've had my issues with the Bills for multiple seasons. So I'm not, and it wasn't a huge win. It wasn't a huge win over the Bills. So
while the Trent Williams thing is a thing, I agree with that. That's an issue for the Niners. The reason that was impressive though was the way the Bengals exploited the Niners defense. That's what made me impressed with that win for the Bengals more than anything else.
That shouldn't be impressive. D'Amico Ryans, as a first-year coach, was pointed out as a liability by some of us in the offseason in August on the Student of the Game podcast in the previews. Bing!
I mean, the Browns and the Vikings also had beat them for the 2 weeks prior to that. So
we got to bring that shit up.
The thing is,
you know what? 42-10, motherfucker. There, you feel better?
I'm just saying, like, I'm not, and it's again, there's injury issues and all of that, but like, yeah. I'm not gonna overinflate what the Bengals did when 2 worse teams beat them the 2 weeks prior. Like,
I'll say this much though, we probably all agree with this though, that we can have about the order of these teams in the top 10, but we agree these are the 10 best teams right now in football, right? There's no one outside of 10 that should be here, right? Steelers, Browns. I'm just names out there with records. That's what I'm saying. Texans,
not yet.
That's what I'm saying. Chargers.
Well, okay,
that's definitely not the Chargers. Stop saying the Chargers.
Colin Coward, number 10 today on this podcast. We're on hierarchy today.
I do math.
He should take his own advice.
Like I'm not saying do it. I'm just saying this.
I know you brought it up though. I'm telling him he take his own advice.
Shut up, EJ.
I'm not faulting you. I'm faulting him.
Okay, no, but there's not a team outside the top 10 that should be here, right?
No.
Okay.
Well, no, you mean this week?
I agree with
this
that.
week, right? This week, yeah.
Yeah, I to your point, these things are fluid. I'm not confident that this will hold per se. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I think. I mean, the top 7 I feel like are fairly safe in the top 10 the rest of the way.
The 2 teams, well, obviously, you look at the Steelers and Browns. Obviously, they could be on the. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks.
We don't need evidence there. Let's get to the actual interesting conversation. You need to tell me Chiefs over Ravens. All your they're on tier 1. If they win big, they're tier 1. They won big. They're officially tier 1. and you wanted to say that the Chiefs weren't as impressive to you, right? So why are they below right now? And granted, I'm just wanting your reasoning.
You mean the Ravens?
The Ravens.
Why are the Chiefs above the Ravens?
Right.
Because they're the Chiefs. I mean, no offense. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be straight up with you. The Super Bowl champions, they're 7-2. Look, it's amazing what they're doing. That we're worried about their offense and their receivers not being able to catch balls, and yet they've morphosized to this team now that's probably a top 5 defense in the league right now, and still have Patrick Mahomes their quarterback. At any point, they get to turn on when they want to.
That's Patrick Mahomes.
Thank you. I have to give the Super Bowl champions respect.
So I could have shortened all of that for you, and you're a wrestling guy, so you should understand this. You're giving me the Ric Flair defense. To be the man, you gotta beat the man.
Pretty much.
That was just a bunch of like extra shit that we talked about already on the Student of the Game report. Bing!
Yeah, and they've earned the trust. They're the Super Bowl champions. They've won 2 Super Bowls the last couple of years. They have earned a lot of trust with me. So
you're talking about trust again, you joker. See what I did there?
Hubba.
There it is. Yeah, I just for whatever reason, again, whatever reason it is, it's a Taylor Swift problem. It's whatever it is. The Chiefs have not been playing that well offensively. If the Chiefs were to play the Ravens this Sunday, I'm going Ravens in that game.
Now, for my money,
I have the Ravens at 2.
Matt, convince me that the Eagles belong over the Chiefs, because this whole we start the game trash and still win anyway thing is kind of a flaw in y'all crew's play.
Right, but I mean, it's the same flaw that we just said Kansas City has.
Good
You're
point.
not wrong, but Kansas City's defense is a little better. And played tougher teams, I would argue.
What is clear is there is no runaway favorite right now. There's a tier. It's been saying all year long. There's a tier of teams now. A tier 1, it still remains 5 teams for me. Bengals, Eagles, Chiefs, Ravens, and Niners. So I know Niners not tier 1. This week it changed up. They lose to Jaguars this week. I got a problem with that.
If you say the word tier again, I'm going to fall into freaking tears for crazy.
But that's what it is now. We have a bunch of teams in a certain bracket that are, on level.
Tier to bracket. Did y'all catch that? That's awesome.
No,
and if EJ had the Chiefs 1, Eagles 2, I would not have necessarily argued it. And I think that the fact that we get to see that battle in 2 weeks is going to be telling of how evenly matched we might be or might not be.
So Kyle,
Go ahead, Jim.
So you were having EJ defend Chiefs over Ravens. You were having Matt defend Eagles over Chiefs. Do you think the Ravens should be number 1?
I think there's an argument for it, but no, I don't think that's the case. If you look,
I don't hate it either.
Yeah, if you look at the Ravens' wins, I'm just not impressed enough yet.
That's fine. I mean,
the Ravens wins?
They've beaten teams impressively, but name me an impressive team that they've beaten. See what I did there?
Well, the Lions and the Seahawks.
And not just beating them, they beat the fuck out of them.
That's my point. Those are impressive wins, but for example, the Jags should have beaten the Chiefs and didn't. If they had beaten the Chiefs in week 2, I would agree with your putting them for example. They should be penalized heavily for losing that game to the Texans because just the way that Tank Dell exposed them. But then again, I say all that, if they had beaten the Texans, they'd be 7-1. It's a whole other conversation. They should.
So now, Kyle, we played the hypothetical game with EJ last week, and we saw how well his Dolphins did. Chiefs, Eagles, both on a bye this week. If the Ravens win convincingly over that Browns defense, put up a lot of points, are you ready to move them into number 1 next week, possibly?
If they spank the Browns defense the way they did both your Lions and the Seahawks, Jim, see what I did there?
My Lions, baby. Let's go.
I would not be against it. No, because the Browns defense is completely underappreciated, arguably as underappreciated as the Jaguars.
Yeah. And I mean, here's the big key, as I've always talked about with the Ravens over the last couple of years, is health. The health is going to be tested over the rest of the schedule, because
especially against that Browns team, right?
They have Browns, they have Bengals, they have Jaguars, 49ers, Steelers to close out the year. There's a lot of bang 'em up games on this schedule still left for the Ravens. So it's going to be an interesting watch, but definitely a team that trust me, I debated putting them at 1.
Worth noting, impressive wins to the Ravens. They also beat the Bengals earlier on the road. Look at that.
Nah, they
down,
did, but
hindsight.
that win against the Bengals in
True,
week 2
true,
is not
true.
impressive.
But
Don't
it's still in the win
In
column.
the
though.
Joe Burrow struggle zone. No, it's not.
no, don't do that.
mean
Don't
the
do that. The Bengals were bad when the Ravens beat them. Don't do it. Don't try to sell that as a good win because it wasn't.
Because if you are, then the Bengals shouldn't be 5.
And the Ravens, and if you are selling it as a great win, then you fucked your own rankings up by having the Ravens at 3. See what I mean?
You should be higher than the Chiefs and the Eagles. In other words,
I mean, I didn't put them.
This team, you know, what's funny? Ravens,
as much as I wanted to, I still had the Eagles at 1.
I will say this: the Ravens are literally 2 plays from being fucking 9-0. That's the funny thing.
That's the case for number 1. He's right.
And they also only beat the Cardinals by 7. So
No, that game was really close. No. That game was really close.
Fan, what happened here?
That was a late score. That was That
Yeah.
was never close. That game was never close. That was a late score. Like what seconds ago in the game?
Are you EJ? Are you pulling the garbage time defense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what it was? I'm telling you, context matters.
Okay. Well, then they beat the Bengals by 3. So
On the road again, Bengals on the road.
No, but you always do this thing.
I know what you're doing.
You always do this thing about, well, this team's 3 plays from being undefeated. Well, they could also be 3 losses. That's all I'm saying.
Or in this case, they are losses.
Funny thing, the Giants could be fucking easily 500 right now, but they're stupid. So go ahead.
Yeah, but they maybe they would be 500 if they actually had a coach of the year.
Danny DeVito is your quarterback. Fuck.
He's probably better than Tony DeVito. Is that the guy's name?
Meanwhile, Matt is smiling because it's always sunny in Philadelphia.
I wish I knew Matt back in 2007, 2008 when the Giants were good.
Whatever. That was
it's a shame.
Funny. That joke was funnier than EJ's self-loathing. Okay, I'm just saying.
All right. Any other thoughts on the rankings, gentlemen?
The Jags are easily your biggest miss this week.
That's it. Pretty good though, right? Pretty good rankings though.
Certainly better than last week.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, I agree with pretty much most, except what I said. We would have the Lions and Jags.
Fair enough.
I'd be happy with it.
Yeah, not bad. All right, guys. As we